proud and humble, beautiful and plain, and young and old. Hello and welcome to Love Has Many Faces. I am your host, Marilyn Milano, and we're here on Alternative Talk 1150. I am really pleased to have a returning guest that we haven't spoken to for a while. We are going to be having a conversation with Melanie Ryan of Beck's Place. And we will be learning in just a moment or two a lot more about what Beck's Place does for those of you who have not heard our previous conversations with her. And they've also got a very cool special event coming up. And I'm excited about that too. So we want to give them a little bit of love. We want to remind people what Beck's Place is all about. And so to that end, we are super happy to have Melanie with us. And I'm just going to make a couple of quick announcements before we take a short break and return to our conversation. And that is number one, a reminder that now Love Has Many Faces can be found wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And if you're not sure where to find them, or if you're new to podcasting like I was, all you have to do is go to the search bar, like Google or wherever you search, and type in Love Has Many Faces podcast, and it will pop up. And so, definitely people can listen online or they can tune into the radio because we're here on Tuesday mornings, 9 to 9:30. But it's great that we have these on podcasts because we can share this stuff and get the word out to more people. So very excited about that. And now I shall stop yammering and we will take a short break and come right back so we can focus on our wonderful guest, Melanie Ryan of Beck's Place. I'm Marilyn Milano and we'll be back in a moment.
Hi, I'm Coach Debbie from Story U Talk Radio, and I want to encourage you to write your book. Weekly, I offer topics about style and storytelling. I take your questions on our live show every Thursday at 4 o'clock, or you can subscribe to Story U, that's capital U, on any of your favorite platforms.
Well, welcome back to Love Has Many Faces. And again, I am so happy to be welcoming returning guest Melanie Ryan. Melanie, thank you for joining us. I'm so happy to have you back.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be back. Thank you so much as well.
Absolutely. And so since it's been a little while since we've spoken, I think a great thing to do would be to remind our previous listeners and maybe explain to our newer ones what Beck's Place is and what you do. And then we'll talk a little bit about the event coming up and maybe some scenarios where people might be able to use your services.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, our mission is to remove pet-related barriers to human health, safety, and security. And what that really means is that we know that there are people who are experiencing crises in their life, and they are reluctant or won't go and receive the services they need to get stable if it means they have to give up their pet.
Right.
The second piece of that is that there are people that might give up their pet, but this is a pet that's otherwise in a very loving family. And now this pet is faced with being sent to a shelter, which is already overburdened, when really just a temporary care, being able to be fostered in temporary care will solve a problem. And that's what we do. We do some other things, but really our core service is to temporarily care and foster your pet. Will you receive crisis services, whether it's for housing, domestic violence, mental health, or physical health treatment? That is what we do. And we reunite 90% of our pets back with their families. So this is a program that really works.
I mean, this is just so amazingly wonderful. I'm going to ask a quick question before we get back to the focus here. And that is, do you happen to have networks in other parts of the country that offer these services? Because I went through something. I have a good friend in Colorado who wound up with a hospital stay for many weeks. And fortunately, we were able to find a rescue there close by that was able to do fostering while her dogs needed care. But that's the whole thing. It was so scary. The couple of friends in the area weren't really equipped to take care of dogs. She was afraid she was going to lose her dogs. And she's kind of like me. I mean, like our dogs are our families and we love them so much. And so, do you happen to have any information about a network or a site or anything? Or what would you recommend just before we get started with the meat of the conversation? What do you recommend to people in other places? Because as I understand, Beck's Place only serves Snohomish County here in Washington, which for those of you listening outside of Washington, that's just north of Seattle.
Correct. We do only serve Snohomish County, although we do have fosters in King County and Pierce County, Island County. So we do have fosters elsewhere, but our clients are in Snohomish County. We do have, it's very interesting to me because we do have a network that we think of as internally our professional network. But you're sparking an idea for me about how we might more broadly make those places known on our own website. So if you are in those areas, you might come across our website and you might be able to kind of look at on our resource page where you might find a similar place where you are at as well. So I'm going to take that as an action item back to our team about how we can build out our resource page for places throughout the country, certainly throughout Washington, that might be able to help you as well.
I think that's great because it just seems that there's more and more of a need. I've had conversations with some different folks. I've had different rescue groups on my show before. And I started the show in 2016. And when I first had conversations with people, the way things were going is that Washington, Oregon, the Northwest in general was receiving a lot of animals from overcrowded shelters, kill shelters and such in the South, maybe in parts of California, because we had room and we had adopters. It seems that when COVID hit, everything kind of went sideways. And now I am hearing from the local shelters that there is no room. People have either given up their pets because they went back to work, or they can't afford the veterinary care, or they've become unhoused. I have I have a friend in another county who's dealing with folks that aren't spaying and neutering, and it's resulting in all kinds of semi-feral cats that aren't getting the care they need. And so the neighbors are trying to help, but they can't get help from the local shelters. So um, I mean, yes, if there's any way that you can use your leverage and help out, or just maybe give some ideas to folks in different places, I know that this is something that is a need. And I mean, especially like with the older population getting larger and larger, there may be times when somebody has a knee replacement or has to go into the
Right.
hospital for
hmm
treatment, and
Well,
they're going to need this help.
you've hit on two really big important points. One is that the post-COVID world is dramatically different for anyone who is in nonprofit, whether you are on the animal welfare side or human services side, which we're a little bit of a blend of both. Our demand for our program has gone up 250% since
Ah,
COVID, and it has not come down. And in fact, I haven't even looked at the past month or two, and I would expect it's gone up even more. And so, and you are also talking about the fact that, you brought up another point about seniors. I mean, I could give you data about many different groups, but one thing we know about seniors is that seniors who have a pet in their household experience less of a cognitive decline. And so there's just so many reasons of benefits. And the third thing you're bringing up is yes, our shelter partners are maxed, they are taxed. And so every point in the system, whether it's human welfare or animal welfare, is really under an incredible amount of pressure. And people are
yes,
really struggling financially right now, which also means that financial support for all these organizations are going down
yes,
while the need is
yes.
going up.
Yes. I mean, I'm totally right there with you. And it hurts my heart, because as you said, well, first of all, I love the part about the seniors having pets and experiencing less cognitive decline. If that's the case, I should be sharp forever, right? But anyway, um,
You and me both.
yeah, but I mean, the other thing is they provide companionship, comfort. I mean, during COVID, when I was in my home and I really didn't have anybody in the house for like a year, and I live on my own, and my pets were my comfort. And I mean, for
Right.
many people, that is how it is. It's also the same for people who have become unhoused. Their closest friend may be their pet, and to have to give that up. Um, uh, it's just it's just heartbreaking. But to that end, just to explain briefly again what your group does, you are providing foster care for pets. For example, if, say, a person has to go into the hospital, or maybe they're fleeing a domestic violence situation, or maybe they have lost their housing. This is temporary shelter, but you've reunited 90% of these pets back with their owners. So
Mhm.
it's a temporary thing, and people are more willing to do this if they know that they're not sending their pets away forever. They are just getting them the care they need.
Absolutely. I was going through, this is our 10-year anniversary this exact month. Actually, the 11th, this week is going to be our official 10-year anniversary day. And I was going through, all the stories, and there's so many stories, but one story that stuck out to me was a family who had a 3-year-old boy named Phoenix. And his mom and his aunt, they were housed, they had a house, and their landlord wanted to move back into the house.
Lovely.
And so they could afford, like many families, to just make it by on paying the rent. But when they suddenly had to come up with first, last, and deposit, that was too much for them. And when we met them, they were living on a campground with their dog and their cat. They were working, the mom and the aunt were working 3 jobs to try and save up for this first, last um, deposit. And when we met them and we were able to take the dog and cat, they were able to go into a family shelter, which didn't allow pets.
Right.
And, long story short is they ended up getting housed. The 3-year-old little boy is now 11. He got
Wow.
to grow up with his dog and cat. And if you
Yes.
could have seen the reunite and seen the pictures, it was just absolutely one of the stories that sticks with me, and they're actually coming to our anniversary event. So we've stayed
Oh,
in touch with them. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, it's the individual stories that make it so they make it so poignant and real. I mean, it's whenever we look at things, disasters, numbers of unhoused pets, whatever, I noticed, for example, on Facebook, they're talking about 9/11 coming up. When they start telling the stories of the individual families that were affected,
Yeah.
not that it wasn't personal to me, because it broke my heart, but it makes it more personal. And the same when you start looking at these situations of families that have been affected by not being able to have their animals with them, or fleeing, domestic violence, all of that. And it makes it personal because sometimes we're bombarded with so much that we want to help, but we're kind of going, oh, yeah, there's that. Oh, yeah, there's too many animals. Oh, yeah. But then you hear the personal stories and there's a face and a name. And that's what gets to people's hearts enough to maybe get them to open up their pocketbooks.
And you are so exactly right. When we humanize what we're doing, and when we're looking to provide solutions and we're talking about these things in the abstract, but when we get down to the real human beings, and quite honestly, the real pets, the real people and pets behind that, you talked about domestic violence. That's another story that sticks with me is we had a client who was in a very serious domestic violence situation, but couldn't leave in the moment. It wasn't safe. And we were able to do some safety planning with her that involved the care of her pet because we know almost 50% of people who are in domestic violence situations will not leave without their pet. There's a high
Right.
correlation between domestic violence and animal abuse. And their pet has often been the most safe, stable, reliable thing. So when she was ready, we had a plan in place about how to get her pet to safety. Well, she got to safety. We did that. She went on to become safe and stable. And over time, she was able to become a foster parent and help raise her niece and nephew. So it seems like such a simple solution, but the impact it can have and ripple for someone's entire life and
Yes.
extending on is really something that, um, we're really proud of.
Oh, and as well, you should be. Now, let's talk about the event that is coming up. It is an anniversary event. It's
Yeah.
on Monday, September 15th at the Mill on Lake Stevens. And tell us a bit more about the event itself and then about the options for people to attend or to maybe just be able to go online and purchase on the auction.
Yes. So we're really excited about the event because a celebration without people there is, doesn't really feel like a full celebration. So we invite anybody who can be able to attend. Tickets will remain on sale through Wednesday, the 10th at noon.
Okay.
We will have a Celtic duo playing some music. We will
Wonderful.
amazing food by Chef Dane Catering and dessert by Simply Sweet. We will have some really fun activities and events. We do have a silent auction for those who are at the event. You will be able to see the items at the event. If you cannot make the event, if you are not local to us and can't make the event, for a $25 donation, you can join the silent auction. And we do ask for a donation to join the silent auction. As you imagine, doing these events do take a lot of time and effort, and that's just a way for you to kind of help us be able to continue to sustain the services we have. But you will not be disappointed in the auction. We have some amazing trips and vacation. We have pet related items. We have experiences all over the Puget Sound area as well as beyond. There is some amazing, gorgeous, handcrafted items by local artisans. So you will not be disappointed in the auction or your $25 donation. I feel confident about that.
Okay, and then what time is the event itself, and what are the hours for the auction?
Right. So the event is at 6 p.m. It's scheduled to wrap up at 9, but we'll see. Could be 8:30 or something. It's probably going to be closer to 8:30 so that we have enough time to close the evening and get you your stuff and out the door.
Right.
There's no program that starts exactly at 6, so if you need a little extra time to get there from work, that is okay. And the auction will also run during that period. So about 6 to 8 or 6 to 8:30. We'll finalize the ending time here shortly, but it will start at 6. It will start right at 6 on the 15th. This week on our social media, we'll start profiling and giving you a sneak peek at the auction items as well.
Okay, and will the auction, is the auction going to be a live auction or a silent auction?
It's a silent auction. So
Okay.
the people at the event will be bidding on the same things as the people who are not at the event.
Okay. Okay. So just I'm curious. So like if I'm sitting here at my computer and I'm bidding on stuff, will they be updating that someone has bid so that people will be able to see, okay, my item is popular, or hey, it doesn't seem like as many people want my item? Because I imagine for some there'll be a bit of a bidding frenzy.
Yes, and the people at the auction are also bidding online too. You can download something on your phone, an app on your phone. So everything will be updated live, instantaneously as people are bidding.
Um, It sounds like, I mean, I wish I lived closer to Lake Stevens, honestly. Um,
We do
because
too. We do too.
yeah, I mean, it would be so much fun. And it's hard to get up north, or well, it's hard to get anywhere in the traffic anymore.
Yes.
But it's certainly if people can come a little bit later, and I mean, if I can jump online, that's what I'm going to try to do. But I mean, the idea of eating good desserts and lovely food is very tempting. Now, just remind me again, what is the price of the ticket if someone wants to attend live?
So there are several price points, but the general admission ticket is $75.
Okay.
And you know what? If $75 is a little bit too much for you, reach out to us, email me at contact@becksplace.org, and I'll throw you a promo code as long as we meet the cost of the event with your ticket. We really want to celebrate with you. And yes, this is a fundraiser, and yes, we need money. There is no doubt about that, but it is also a celebration. And so if that's just a little too much to you, please reach out and let us know, and we'll be able to send you a promo code so you can buy your ticket at cost.
That's wonderful. I mean, because I mean, you get people there and maybe they find it, maybe they think, well, I mean, haven't we all done this? It's like, okay, I have a budget of $100 or $200 and that's it. And then you wind up being somewhere and you find the item you really can't live without, and you realize your budget's maybe a little bigger because you really want that item for your pet, or you want that experience, or you want to give it as a gift. And so to get folks there and to be able to see what's available. I think sometimes it sparks interest and people are thinking, well, maybe I could use that as a holiday gift, for my niece and nephew or for my mom or whatever. And
There's
so,
some great holiday gifts. And I'm just going to say Taylor Swift, anyone? There's a Taylor Swift item in there that you don't want to pass up if you're a Swiftie. So
okay.
great holiday gifts for sure.
I love that. I love that. Gee, I don't know. Do we have a Taylor Swift costume for a small whitish Cocker Spaniel? I'm kind of thinking that maybe Calla would do a good Taylor Swift uh what's the word? Impersonation. Anyway, but she doesn't sing, so I guess that's off the table. Anyway, it's so wonderful to just hear about all the work that you're doing. We have a couple more minutes. I'm just wondering before we wrap up if you have any other stories you would like to share? I know you shared the story about the young boy who was reunited with his pet several years back, but is there anything else that comes to mind that you think our listeners might like to hear about?
Yeah, I'll wrap up with one story, and I'll just add one more thing too that I forgot to say is that we do have kid prices also, and it is an all ages, very family friendly event as well. So
That's
I
great to know.
add that. But I think too, again, looking through the stories, I think another story that I really appreciate is, um, a lot of people are really concerned about the unhoused that are living on our streets. And what are the solutions we do with that? And I remember a situation of someone, we have a mobile outreach van, and we work in 5 different locations around the Snohomish County where we partner with human services agencies. And we build relationships with people while taking care of their pets at these locations. And after we, really build trust with someone, we have someone who was a long, long time struggle with substance abuse, long time in the streets. Social workers had tried to get him into treatment. The police had tried to get him into treatment. He wouldn't do it. But one day he finally said, I trust you with my pet, and so I will go. And he has now been sober, and in housing, and he is working. And that's another story that, sticks with me and will stick with me for a long time.
I mean, I think that is so wonderful. I mean, we want to hear the tangible, measurable results because, let's face it, a lot of groups are doing work, but sometimes it's hard to see, what's the effect? What are we doing? And again, that's why putting the names, faces, or stories to some of these situations is so important. And I've also heard it said in discussions when we're all talking about, my gosh, there's so much wrong in the world now. What can we even do? I can send a few letters or make a phone call or make a small donation, but what can I do? And when you hear someone saying, okay, you can do work where your circle is. Maybe it's the person on the street that you buy a cold drink or a warm drink for, or maybe it's the local community center. But we can't save everyone ourselves, but we can help organizations that are helping people, and we can work in our communities, in our neighborhoods with situations that come across our desks or online or to us through persons that we know. And that's where taking a step forward. And the other thing I tell people before we wrap is simply, okay, if you can't attend the event, you can share an email, right? You can let people
Yep,
know about it. You can put it on your web page. You can
yep,
do things that don't cost anything to let more people know because you never know where that's going to land, that it could affect somebody and that it might make a humongous difference.
absolutely.
So, well, Melanie, it's been a pleasure to have you on board, and I'm wishing you the best of luck with your event this coming Monday. Again, we've been talking to Melanie Ryan from Beck's Place. It is an organization that helps remove barriers to human health, safety, and security, removing pet-related barriers. So, if you can't take your pet, if you're not going somewhere because of your pet, they can help you find a solution for your pet that is going to work for you, and then you can be reunited. So, thank you so much. And the website again, bexplace.org.
Becksplace.org, you got it. And thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. We will take a very short break and we'll come right back to wrap things up. I'm Marilyn Milano, your host of Love Has Many Faces here on Alternative Talk 1150. Hi, this is Marilyn Milano, your host of Love Has Many Faces. The music that you're hearing during this show every week is exclusively original music from my own CDs. If you're enjoying it and would like to order a copy of one of my 2 CDs for yourself or as a gift, just go to MarilynMilano.net and you can order directly from the website. I give a portion of every sale back to animal rescue because that's part of the whole cause. Thank you for listening and thanks for your support.
Saving Great Animals, a Seattle-based dog rescue organization, matches families with dogs that are the best fit. Dogs that come from overcrowded animal control shelters, from abandonment or neglect. The key to Saving Great Animals' success is a trial adoption program, including training and counsel as needed. This way, you know you have the right dog before the adoption is final. Saving Great Animals relies solely on donations, so please visit savinggreatanimals.org today.
Get your daily dose of variety. Alternative Talk 1150.
Well, welcome back to Love Has Many Faces, a wonderful update and conversation with Melanie Ryan of Beck's Place, which is a great organization doing great work. Please check them out at becksplace.org. And then again, their event, Monday, September 15th. Tickets for the live event are available through noon this Wednesday, the 10th. And then you can buy auction tickets only, and they'll be available through Monday the 15th at noon. So please check them out. They are doing such great, tangible work, really helping people and their animals. Anyway, it's been another wonderful conversation, and this is what we're all about. We are here to raise awareness, touch hearts, and save the lives of animals, and in doing so, we're helping their people too. So please tell your friends, join us again. We're here every Tuesday, 9 to 9:30 Pacific time. You're listening to Alternative Talk 1150, and I'm your host, Marilyn Milano, with Love Has Many Faces.